Melbourne Musos live. What a cacophony. My name's Quinlan. Hello, my name's Quinlan, as I said. Welcome to Melbourne Musos Facebook Live. On a very sunny day, didn't get to see much of it today. I was doing some editing for an upcoming impromptu TV. There you go. There it is. All right. So what I'm going to do today, talk about a couple of things. What happened, or what has happened over the last couple of episodes, is that I've been talking about gamelan, John Cage as one of the avant-garde great composers of this business. And I thought I'd bring it a little bit closer to home today when I was sort of working things up, because I like my continuity. And one of the things that I brought up is that with gamelan and things, I talked about the P-log scale, okay, which is one of their home scales. I mean, if you join a blues band, your home scale is going to be the minor pentatonic. If you're in a country and western band, there's a lot of major pentatonics going around, you know, that kind of thing. So what I've got here is something that a scale that I mentioned along with the P-log, the Hirajoshi scale. Yes, the Hirajoshi. Ooh, okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight into it, okay? It's a tuning scale adapted from shamisen music by Yasuhashi Kengyo for tuning of the koto. The Hirajoshi, Kumoi-joshi, and Kokin-joshi scales are Western derivations of the koto tunings of the same names. These scales have been used by rock and jazz guitarists in search of new sounds. There's a few different ones there, and it mentions dear Nicholas Slonimsky, who I've done a whole show on there. And one of the things that is here is Peter Sculthorpe's Earth Cry, who I'm going to talk about. And I'm going to come back to that in a second. But what happens is a Hirajoshi scale is built from, here they are, you've got the first, the second, the flat third, the fifth, and the flat sixth. It's very close to a pentatonic scale, you see. So you can overlay them, you see. Wonderful stuff. And one of the things about that, it has a real character about it, you see. So there it is there. There's modes, as always, and the 5 modes of Hirajoshi can also be derived as the subsets of the Ionian, the Phrygian, the Lydian, the Aeolian, and the Locrian modes. Thank you very much. Synonymous scales have different names per region of Japan. It is a Japanese scale, as well as according to several ethnomusicologists and researchers, which may lead to some confusion. For example, the Iwato scale bears the same intervals as Slonimsky's concept of the Hirajoshi scale and is also the 4th mode of the In scale. Same scale can be given by Koska, and Payne matches the 3rd mode of the In scale. There you are. Find out, do your own research, as they say. There it is there. Now I'm going to talk about it a little bit. And I'm going to talk about the instrument and play it a little bit. I'm going to take the snares off. That is a Chinese Guzheng Zither. There it is there. Now, playing slowly is the drum lesson part. I've done that before, a couple of years ago, funnily enough. But one of the things that often happens is when you are playing this kind of thing and you've got an instrument that is long, I can play busy, that's fine, but sometimes you need a bit of space. Can you hear that with the zither? Oh, wow. Now, when you're doing a rock beat, kind of an adaptation to that, there's a little term called sludge rock. Sludge. I'm feeling very Melvin-y. As in the Melvins, they're coming out with Mr. Bungle. Ooh, I better go to that one. Love those two bands. So there you go. So, you know, very, very slow and very big. It's like, And it often happens when you want something, you want space. But what happens is what you're hearing is kind of like... But inside the brain, the noggin, hopefully, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2, 3 and 4 and 1. There you go. So there's an inner clock happening. You can do lots of different things with that. And what happens then is that you can keep time in a tempo that drummers hate, the slow ones, you know, that kind of thing. So you have to try and get that going. You also have to try and bring the band with you as well. Where's one, Wally? All that. Now, all these things that I'm playing, look, oi! All this business is the zither. The zeng, or Guzheng, is a Chinese plucked zither. The modern Guzheng commonly has 21, 25 or 26 strings, is 64 inches long and is tuned in a major pentatonic scale. What did I tell you? It has a large resonant soundboard made from paulownia wood. Other components are often made from other woods for structural decorative reasons. Guzheng players often wear a finger pick made from materials such as plastic, resin, tortoiseshell or ivory on one or both hands. That's what we're hearing. There you go. There's many different types and it's a very old instrument. I've already put it up there, I think. There it is. I will do that later. Okay. Now, what happens with this? It's a very, very old instrument into the BC era, so it's thousands of years old, and it has gone through many changes. And what happens is that the technique of it is one in which you do tend to bend. You can hear it, even though this is a sample, a humble sample. You see? Wow. the Zither for ya. And there you have it, you see. Now, I'm going to get a wriggle on because I've got a few things I want to get through. So what happens is that, okay, we've got the Hirajoshi Scale. We have the Zither. We have the how to play slowly. And I've even taken it into, how do I fit in the Melvins to that? Somehow I did. Sludge rock, real slow and bang, that kind of thing. And there you have that. And one of the things that I'd like to talk about now is a wonderful Australian composer by the name of Peter Sculthorpe. And there he is. National treasure. There you go. I was first introduced to his music way back in 1970 with a wonderful music teacher. My teacher at the time was my music teacher was Mr. Brian Fitzgerald. He seemed to walk the walk because once I started to really get into, playing groups, jazz, everything else that went with it, I go into the phone book or I'd hear about this Brian Fitzgerald big band. So it was a music teacher who actually walked the walk, as I said, sort of thing, great respect. And he introduced me to Peter Sculthorpe's 1965 composition, and then it was only 5 years old, Sun Music, which was a commission by the Sydney Symphony Orchestra. And their only request was, we want it timeless. We don't want the sound of any time. So it was sun music. It was just like, well, think of the sun. And I've gone, wow, I don't know what I'm listening to, but I like it, that kind of thing. And Mr. Fitzgerald was trying to teach or show it to, like a rambunctious class of grade 5s. No worries, Brian. Yeah. At least I put my hand, I went, I like it a lot. There you go. And Sun Music, 1965. So I'm going to go to Peter Sculthorpe and give you a quick rundown of him as well. Peter Joshua Sculthorpe, A-O-O-B-E, all the letters after his name. 29th of April, 1929. 8th of August, 2014. Was an Australian composer. Much of his music resulted from an interest in the music of countries neighbouring Australia, as well as from the impulse to bring together aspects of Aboriginal Australian music with that of the heritage of the West. He was known primarily for his orchestral and chamber music, such as Kakadu, 1988, and Earth Cry, 1986, which evoked the sounds and feeling of the Australian bushland and outback. He also wrote 18-string quartets using unusual timbral effects, works for piano, and 2 operas. There you are. I'll stop there. And the reason I went, is because Earth Cry's central tonality is the Hirajoshi scale. It comes around. I love music when it's like that. And then what happens is that when you're doing things like that, please look him up, please listen to it. You've got everything that none of us had it back in 1970. We'd have to go out and buy the album. Dad'd say, well, what do you need this one for, son? No, here's $5.95. Go buy your album. I put it on. And you go, what the bloody hell is that? And what it is now, it's just YouTube. There you go. You got it, sort of thing. The most recent one was at the Recital Centre, Melbourne's Recital Centre in 2018. Pre-COVID. Do you remember those days? So what goes on? That piece can be played with or without a didgeridoo. When it is played with the didgeridoo, one of the preeminent Australian didgeridoo players is one William Barton. I'm hearing a lot of him on ABC Classic FM because he received the Queensland Australian of the Year, I believe, in 2022. William Barton is an Aboriginal Australian didgeridoo player. He was born in Mount Isa, Queensland on the 4th of June 1981 and learned to play at the age of 11 from Uncle Arthur Peterson, an elder of the Wanyi, Ladil and Kalkadungu tribes of Western Queensland. He is widely recognised as one of Australia's finest traditional didgeridoo players and a leading didgeridoo yidaki player in the classical world. There it is. Barton has said the yidaki embodies everything of the land because it's from the tree, like Doris here. It's the breath of life and the land of sustenance to us as human beings. It embodies the history of those old trees. The yidaki has memories. It's the breath of our ancestors, particularly when the instrument is passed on physically from one person to the next. I'm doing what I love, Barton says. I want to take the oldest culture in the world and blend it with Europe's rich musical legacy. There you go. Look him up, look them all up, put it all together. Can you see what I'm trying to do here? There's a whole world and it all comes together. It's absolutely fascinating to me. And what goes on is when you actually get into that world, everything goes away. It just disappears into dust. And you know the word I'm talking about? Prejudice. Is because when you put it all together, what are you left with? You know, just searching. And if you can get out there and hear it and play it and watch these people, the world just disappears into a world of love, is how I get it. Thank you. That wasn't a love song. Anyway, there you go. Better think about getting a wriggle on here. So what I've got is one of the other things that I want to bring up, and I've already brought it up with the wonderful Air app developed by Brian. And I'd love it if they sent me a bottle of wine or something there for all the free plugs I'm doing. But what it is when I put on Air, look at what a Hirajoshi, Japanese. You got the Chinese Guzheng Zither. You've got Peter Sculthorpe, one of our great Australian composers, using a Japanese mode for a central thing called Earth Cry, for which, if the didgeridoo is there, play it. And that is William Barton, who represents Australia itself, all that business. And from my Celtic heritage, all this business, you can have an app, and that's my Celtic upbringing. Dad's Dan O'Connell Hotel, all the Irish music, and all the reasons why they got transported out to Australia from England and all that business, which I did earlier in the year. Very sad history, and all the connections. So you got all that, you see. So, where am I going? There. My name is Chris Quinlan. I better wrap the show up. This is Facebook Live, destined for Channel 31 in about a fortnight. And there you go. Hirajoshi Scale, Guzheng Zither, our very own Peter Sculthorpe, our very own William Barton on didgeridoo. Mentioned my old music teacher, Brian Fitzgerald, who introduced me to Peter Sculthorpe's music when I was a little tacker. What I started with tonight was this, and it is an oud, which for me represents, our typical, hopefully happy multicultural world that we've built up here.